这有什么好看？
就有好看的。
就有好看的。
好了，再见。In a world of Chinese smog, welcome to Wuxi. It's not too far from Shanghai, and it's where we're going to be spending the weekend doing some train spotting. There's going to be fast trains, slow trains, and all the trains in between. So come on, let's go out there and see what we can find. And what better way to accompany watching trains than listen to me rumble on about life in China. I've got 3 interesting stories to tell you throughout the course of this video. One involves just the kind-hearted nature of Chinese people, another about how penny-pinching they are, and then the final one, which is probably too gay for your ears. And it's fine, because nobody ever watches these videos past about 2 minutes anyway. So it'll just be me rumbling on to myself about bumming Chinese guys. So let's get in with the first one. I've lived in Nantong for over 10 years now, and all those years ago I bought a bike, and it's the best thing I ever bought. It was 40 quid. I went to this weird factory where they stored them. There were hundreds of bikes in there, and I went up to the top shelf and just picked this little one. And at that point I didn't know, but this was going to be the bike of my dreams. So easy to do non-handed, and I've ridden it everywhere around Nantong. I've been to so many different places. I've watched the construction of the fast high-speed train line using the bike. But whenever I've gone on these long road trips and had to get a van back because I've ridden too far to cycle back on my own, I've always had to buy water from shops, and I've always struggled if it gets too warm and I have to take my jacket off because I have to put it round my waist or something. And I've never thought, do you know what, why don't I just buy a basket for this bloody bike? Anyway, every time I go to the gym, there's a guy that sits on corner, and I use him to pump up my tyres now and again. And I thought, do you know what, wouldn't it be great if I had a basket that I could put my backpack in, so I didn't have to have it on my back while I'm riding up and down? Now, we'd recently put a mud flap on the back of my bike, and that didn't work. It was just too short, so when it rained I still got it soaking wet. But I thought I'd give him another shot. And this guy, he's like 80 odd, and he sits there in freezing cold, in burning sun. I looked while I was sat there thinking, it's freezing, and you've got this bowl of water, you know, that you check for punctures in tyres. You're putting your hands in that, and then you're continuing to change your wheel. Oh my God, some people, I just couldn't, my hands would just freeze off. So he says, yeah, I've got a basket. I'll have to go home for it though. So I says, tell you what, I'll come back on Sunday. And when I went past on Sunday, I thought, oh, do you know what, I can't be arsed sitting there while he fits it today, so I'm just going to not bother. So it rolls round to next Thursday, and I think, right, let me go and see about this basket now. So I went, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been waiting for you to come. And he pulled out these nuts out of his pocket. So since Sunday, he's had these little nuts and bolts in his pocket waiting for me to come to fit this basket for my bike. And my heart just sunk. It just went, oh my God, that's just so nice. And I sat there on his little bench watching him fit it. He didn't even want me to hold it, you know, hold this while I fit this or whatever. He just did it all. It cost, how much did it cost altogether? He looked at me like, oh, you're a foreigner, I might charge a bit more. So he said 12 quid, and I thought, do you know what, I'll give you £13. God knows how much it'd cost in England to get a little basket fitted to the back of your bike. Well, it'd get nicked by the time that you got to wherever you were going anyway.
Well, it soon got dark, didn't it? At least one thing them flies have pissed off. I don't know what it is, because if you go to ground level, there ain't even any flies. I think that's telling us one thing, isn't it? Pollution's too bad for them right down there. I'm going to head up towards the train station now, where we can see trains coming into the platform.
Morning. That's a better view, isn't it? Oh god, you can see all the shit that I was eating in bed last night. Well, we're going to do some more train spotting today with hopefully a bit of a blue sky. It's normally quite nice on the morning, is the sky, and then by afternoon, so we'll see what time I actually get out there to whether or not we have blue sky trains. Notable injuries include this from a barbed wire fence last night. You know that last location where I was just like peering through fence near railway station? There were shitloads of barbed wire, and then there were a train coming. I was like, quick, get the camera out! Oh! And then by the time I knew it, the damage had already been done. Oh, lovely. A nice little allotment up here too. That looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Oh, and someone's drying noodles. Oh, I had a right nightmare on way here. So I used the ride-sharing app. It's very common in China for people to do that. So instead of it costing 25 quid to get a taxi on your own, it only cost a tenner. But this guy went around houses, so it's up to the driver how many people to pick up. And the trip, instead of taking an hour and a half, it ended up taking 3 hours. It was like this. Picked me up in Leeds, then we went to go pick someone else up in York, back to Leeds to pick another person up, then back to York to pick the final passenger up. And this is all for a trip to go to Liverpool. I were in tears by the time we got there. But the guy wanted to have me on WeChat, because I told him I'm not getting married, I just sleep around. He said, oh, I'll come with you next time. I thought, oh yeah. To be honest, they'll probably take all. He wasn't in a good shape. And that brings us to our next tale of woe. It involves a chat about Chinese gay bars, and how they're like pretty much brothels. I've only ever been to one, and it must have been about 6 years ago now. They have this guy who's like in charge of getting all the boys, so basically a pimp. And I met this version of that on Chinese Grinder the other night. It just opened my eyes up. So now in Nantong, when I go down, when I'm walking on a night and I see these guys that have all got white makeup on their faces, and it's pretty obvious that they work in these bars, and it's like guys go there, like rich guys, and choose who they want to drink alcohol with. But all these guys put like white makeup on their face. It's very strange because they look like weird. I don't think it looks attractive, but they clearly do. So you see them every night putting this makeup on, and they're clearly working these gay bars, because this guy comes and it would just, yeah, he would, you could tell that he was just making gestures that I thought, oh, yeah, he's used to, it's like as if he's putting on an act. And I touched his face, and I wish I'd done, because God knows what kind of lead's in his makeup, that white ghost powder thing. It looks so strange, like, because the skin's not that colour, but the face is proper white. This is actually a good vantage point to see. It looks like you can sneak in here, and then in this allotment area, get a nice view at trains there, because there's no guard up against the rail. I'm going to try and go down there. I'm also eyeing up these buildings over here for a nice view. Here we are then. Looks like you can just go down here. This rickety road. Right, I've made it in. Yeah. Well, I can hold you. God, got all pipes and shit down there. There's somebody over there fishing. Gotta watch your step though. Don't want to fall down there. Well, I can hold you. When there's a little bit of land that needs farming, Chinese people will find a way in no matter what.
at this that they've built under the bridge. Chinese people will just build all anywhere. Like a little scaffolding structure, so you can walk along there. Not standing here all day. Bloody every time a train comes past, truck comes. I'm at the other side now. That looks like a bridge that they were going to build but never got round to it. So over there is where I want to head. Well, a bit of winter sun. Oh, my zoomed in face. Yeah, it's definitely nice view around here. Right, well, I've had enough now. I'm off. I'm going to walk back into the city centre. So that's probably just about it from me in Wuxi this train spotting weekend. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.